We continue now at the top of Daf Nun Gimel Amud Beis Meseches Zevachim. This is Zevachim Daf 53b. The Gemara says, Tana Devei Rabbi Yishmael Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. In the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael, they taught that Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai agreed with Rabbi Yishmael that Omrim, that they both say Zeh v'Zeh Yesod Ma'aravi, that both by the inner chatos and the outer chatos, you always pour the remainder of the blood to the western base of the Mizbeach. And the Gemara says, V'simonech, and the mnemonic to remember this, Moshchu Gavre Legavre, that the people in plural, meaning the yeshiva of Rabbi Yishmael, those students of Rabbi Yishmael, they pulled the Gavra, they pulled the individual Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, meaning they said that Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai agreed with Rabbi Yishmael. And the Gemara continues with the Mishnah, Ha'ola Kodshei Kodshim, the Ola, the carbon Ola is the Holy of Holies, Shchitasa B'tzafon, it is slaughtered in the north, V'kibul Dama B'chli Shares B'tzafon, the receiving of its blood is in a Kli Shares in the north, V'damaton Shtei Matanos Shein Arba, and as far as the blood, it requires two applications, which are four, Utuna Hefshit V'nituach V'cholel Lo'ishim, and it requires that it be flayed and cut up and completely burned. And Rashi explains, Ha'ola Kodshei Kodshim hi li pasel biyotze u'v'tvul yom u'v'mechosar kippurim u'mo'alin ba. When we say that a carbon is Kodshei Kodshim, that means that it's disqualified if it leaves the proper area. It's disqualified if it's with a tvul yom or mechosar kippurim. These are individuals that are tamei. Either they just immersed a tvul yom, immersed that day, but didn't have sunset. Mechosar kippurim is in the purification process, but hasn't yet brought the carbon, the atonement. U'mo'alin ba means to say that there is me'ila. Shtei matanos, in terms of the applications of the blood, it's two applications which are four, and what that means is Bekaran Mizrachis Tzefonis, there's one application done in the northeastern corner of Bekaran Ma'aravis Dromis, and then another application is done in the southwestern corner, Shekenegda Balachson, which is diagonal from it. V'achi Tanan b'Meseches Tamid, and this is what's learned in the Mishnah Meseches Tamid. Balo Lekaran Mizrachis Tzefonis, no sein Mizrachis Tzefonis, Ma'aravis Dromis, no sein Ma'aravis Dromis. Again, those corners are where the blood is applied. V'tayim Mishum, now the reason why it's those corners is because the Karen Mizrachis Dromis Lo Haya Lo Yesod, the southeastern corner did not have a base. Kedamina B'Shmaitan, like we say in our Gemara, Va'ola Tu'una Toras Matan Dama Keneged HaYesod. When it comes to carbon ola, the application of the blood needs to be corresponding to the area of the Mizbeach, which has a base. And Shtei Matano Shein Dalet, the two applications which are four bo'ina, and that's what is required. Kedei Sheyehei Matan Hadam B'Dalet Ruchos HaMizbeach. That way you apply to the corner, it goes on both walls. It's going to end up being on all four walls of the Mizbeach. That's only going to work if you're going to do two corners that are diagonal from one another. If you pick two corners on one side, so then you'd only have blood on three of the walls of the Mizbeach. That would not be called Saviv around it. Shehein Arba, again, two which are four. B'Gemar Mefaresh, and the Gemara will explain exactly how it is done. And the Gemara says, Ola, with regards to the carbon Ola, my time Matani Bo Kodshei Kodshim. Why does the Mishnah have to say it's Kodshei Kodshim? We don't say that by Chatos and Asham. When the Mishnah discussed Chatos and Asham, it doesn't say that it's Kodshei Kodshim, even though they are Kodshei Kodshim. Why do we specify that specifically by Ola? And the Gemara answers, Mishum de lo ksiv bo Kodshei Kodshim, because it doesn't say that it's Kodesh Kodashim by the Ola. The Pasuk doesn't say it, so that's why the Mishnah says it. And the Gemara continues at the two dots. The Mishnah said, V'damaton shtei matanos, the blood, it requires two applications which are four. And the Gemara says, Hey Chiyavid, what exactly did the Kohen do? Amar Rav, Rav says, no sein v'chozer v'nosen. He would apply and then apply again, meaning he would be at the one corner and apply to one side of the corner and then apply the blood to the other side of the corner, and then he would go to the second corner and do the same thing. So effectively, again, the blood would be on all four walls of the Mizbeach. Ushmuel, Amar, and Shmuel says, Maton Achas was actually just one application, Kimin Gamma, like the Greek letter Gamma. The idea is that he would throw the blood to the corner of the Mizbeach and then it would spread naturally. It would spread to both sides of the Mizbeach. And Rashi explains, Hey Chiyavid denasim hashtayim shein arba. How is it that the two applications become like four? And again, Rav says, no sein v'chozer v'no sein, which means Zorek min hakliu l'mizbeach beruach zushal keren. He throws from the vessel to the mizbeach on this side of the wall, v'chein beruach hashniya, and then also on the second side of the wall by the corner, shal keren of the corner. V'chein l'keren shekenegda balachson. He does the same thing by the corner, opposite in diagonal. V'nimsa min hadam l'dalid rucha shal mizbeach matan l'chol ruach. It comes out that you have blood on the four walls of the mizbeach, and it's one application for each wall. That's how Rav says. So essentially, applying the blood blood 4 times by these 2 corners of the Mizbeach. And the second opinion, the opinion of Shmuel, Kimin Gamma, it's like the letter Gamma, Zorek neged hapina min hakli v'hadam mispashit l'shtei ruchas hapina. He throws by the corner towards the corner of the Mizbeach, and then naturally spreads on the 2 walls. V'areu kimin Gam os yevonis asuya kechaf pshuta. It's like the letter Gam, it's like a letter that bends at a right angle. This Greek letter, that's what it's like when he's applying the blood to the Mizbeach. And so again, that's what Shmuel means when he says it's matana achas k'min gamma nosen, that he applies it. It's one matana, one application, like the letter gamma in Greek. And the Gemara continues, Ketanai, let us say that this is a machlokas tanoim. The Brisa says, Yochel yizrakenu zrika achas, one might think that he does one zrika, he does one throwing of the blood. Talmud lomar saviv, the pasuk says saviv. We'll take a look at the full pasuk. The full pasuk, v'shachar es ben habakar lefnei Hashem, v'yikrivu b'nei Aaron ha-kohanim es adam, v'zarku es adam al ha-mizbeach saviv, asher pesach al moed. It's talking about the zrikas adam, and it says the word saviv, that it goes around. And so the Brisa continues, isaviv, but if it has to go around, Yachol Yakifeno Kechut, maybe the way that the blood is applied is that he literally surrounds the entire Mizbeach as like it's a thread, as if he applies the blood around the entire Mizbeach. Talmud Lomar V'Zarku, the pasuk says, no, he throws the blood. Hakeitzad, how so? Kimin Gamma, again, it's like the letter, the Gamma letter. Again, it is applied, thrown to the corner of the Mizbeach, and it spreads to both sides. Shtei matano shein but that's 2 applications, which end up being 4. Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Yishmael says, Nemar kan saviv, it says over here saviv. V'nemar lahalon saviv, and it says further on the word saviv, the full pasuk over there. Vayishchot vayikach Moshe es Hadam, vayitan al karnos hamizbeach saviv be'etzbo. It says that he placed on the corners of the Mizbeach saviv. He uses the word saviv over there. Malahalon pisuk va'arba matanos, just like over there, it was actually talking about 4 applications to the 4 corners of the Mizbeach. Afkan pisuk va'arba matanos. So too over here, it's 4 applications. That would be similar to Rav. He's standing at 2 corners, but at each corner, he does 2 applications on each of the walls. Imalahalon arba matanos al arba karnos. Now again, over there it was 4 applications on 4 corners, so one might think, Afkan arba matanos al arba karnos. Here also maybe it's 4 applications on 4 corners. Amrit ola to una yisod, but we say to that a carbon ola requires application of the blood where there is a base of the Mizbeach, as we said above. The Karen Mizrach is duromis lo haya lo yisod, and we know that the southeastern corner had no base, and therefore it would certainly not be applied there. That's how we understand that it's applied to 2 corners of the Mizbeach, not 4 corners of the Mizbeach. And the Gemara continues, my time, what's the reason? Why is it that the southeastern corner had no yisod? Amar Rebbe Elazar says, because that corner of the Mizbeach was not in the portion of the Toref. The Toref is a reference to Binyamin, because it says in the pasuk Binyamin Ze'ev Yitraf, and the idea over there is that that part of the Mizbeach wasn't in the Chelik, in the territory of Binyamin, therefore it had no yisod. The Amar of Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak, because Rav Shmuel bar Rav Yitzchak said, Mizbeach ochel bechelko shel Yehuda Amma, that the Mizbeach, it was in Yehuda's territory 1 Amma. Amar Rabbi Levi bar Chama says, Amar Rabbi Chama bar Rabbi Chanina, that Rabbi Chama bar Rabbi Chanina said, Ritzua haisa yotza mechelko shel Yehuda, there was like a strip of territory of land that went from the portion of Yehuda, v'nichnesa bechelko shel Binyamin, and entered into the territory of Binyamin, v'haya Binyamin hatzadik mitztara le b'chol yom lenotla, and Binyamin hatzadik, he was distressed over it every day to take that back. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Nun Dalid Amud Aleph.